You demonstrate it to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on then, demonstrate
so
it.
then, from my perspective...
Demonstrate it.
Well, I'm trying to do that.
Come on then.
You're being rather confrontational.
What?
I'm just trying to be nice to you and have the conversation.
My position.
You are an agnostic.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't believe in God.
You said there's a possibility
No,
that God exists.
don't tell me what I think.
What you just said.
No. Don't tell me what I think. I'm going to get angry.
A person who says...
I'm going to get angry. Listen.
But much of what you believe, sir, is it's not on empiricism, is it?
Yes, it is.
Do you believe your mother is your mother?
I could prove it.
No. Do you believe that your mother is your mother?
I might. What? I don't know.
You need to think about that. Okay, fine.
Well, you need to think about it.
Well, I have thought about it. That's why I'm here.
But how do you know? Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
We're here for the same reason.
Good.
So your definition is no better than mine.
Well, I would say it is better.
Well, you haven't demonstrated it so far.
Because I'm not simply saying I don't know.
Might be right.
Yes.
There might be a God.
Yes.
I'm not denying that.
Right.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
Right.
Because among the possibilities.
Is it a reasonable possibility?
It's reasonable. The scriptures are evidence.
Have you studied the Quran?
No.
Are you familiar with the evidences of the Quran? No. Then how can you make that claim?
Well, because
It's probably generalising.
It has to be a necessary existence.
So God intervenes.
No, I'm not saying God. I'm saying...
No, but you think he's God.
Well, from my perspective, but what I'm trying to say... what I'm trying to say to you...
That's like yours is a special case.
No.
You're saying you know what the cause
Yeah.
was God.
I'm not saying that to you now. What I'm
you are.
No.
You are.
From a religious perspective, obviously that's where my...
You think it's God?
Yeah, from my perspective.
Yeah.
But before we get there, all I'm saying to you is that if you've accepted that an infinite regress would not give rise to us talking today, because you can't traverse an infinite number of steps,
Well, God can.
and everything that is contingent is reliant upon a previous step. From that, logically, deductively, it follows that there has to be a necessary existence. Now, that necessary existence could be matter, energy, whatever you want to say.
I don't know. But you tell me what your explanation is.
Okay, so because you can't have the infinite regress, there has to be a start point for everything else to exist or come into existence.
What's the start point?
So for me, that start point has to have certain attributes. So it has to have...
you can't say you don't know what your answer to the... If an infinite regress...
Is not possible.
Just for argument's sake, let's agree about that.
Yes.
If it's not possible,
Yes.
then you solve the problem by
A necessary existence.
by a being that is not part of that process.
Yes, of course, because that's the
How
logic.
do you know that?
Because when we narrow down the variables...
No, you can't say we don't... If I say I don't know,
Yes.
to your infinite regress
Yes.
problem,
Yes.
I say I don't know what the answer is.
Yes.
But then you come along and say, I know what the answer is,
Yes.
it's God.
No, I wouldn't say that. What I would say is that I would take that person through logical arguments. Now, the ultimate argument, I agree with you, I'm not going to play games with you. The ultimate argument for a theist would be that the only explanation that one can, I think, narrow it down to...
There is another explanation.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well that's fine. A person cannot know, but
No, not necessarily.
Yes.
Not know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
at the moment, I don't know at the time.
I understand.
But you saying you do know,
Yes.
but you have a special explanation.
No, I'm saying that...
You have a magical explanation.
No, well, to me, it's about balance of probability. Okay. Now,
I don't see why...
Well, if I could just finish, if I could
just make this point.
Yeah.
I think my probability
Yes.
is better than yours.
Well, of course, and your view, that's your view, right? And you're entitled to your view,
But
right?
it's logically compatible.
I don't think it's logically compatible.
I could say I don't know.
No, I'll tell you why it's not logically compatible. I'll tell you why it's not logically compatible. Because a person can say I don't know, but that does not mean to say that I'm going to suspend my thinking as to what the variables might be.
I don't think you should suspend anything.
Right. So if one doesn't suspend...
keep looking.
Exactly, I totally agree with you, right? So for example, a person can say, look, I don't know what happened before the universe.
You don't, none of us know.
Well, empirically, yes, I would agree with you, right? Empirically, right? But that does not mean to say that I would suspend my thinking as to how it might have come about.
I don't think you should suspend.
Right. So
keep on looking.
I agree with you, right? So for me, subjectively, you could argue. For you, it's I don't know, and you stop there.
No,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know I don't know lots of things, but I might find out.
Yes. That's fine.
I haven't given up looking.
That's fine. That's fine. Now, so the point I'm trying to make to you is that not knowing is fine, but that does not mean to say, and I'm not saying that you are now. This is not an accusation. I'm saying it doesn't stop us thinking as to how it may have happened. So when we logically, if I could just finish, if I could
carry on thinking,
that's fine. That's fine. So if we follow that line of thought, carrying on thinking. Then, as I said to you, there are certain rational possibilities that the universe could have come into existence or everything else could have come into existence. One of those would be a necessary existence.
I agree. It's
Right?
it's a possibility.
Right.
Can I say something? It's a possibility.
Yes, yes.
But I don't think it's a very good one.
Okay, that's fine. And why is it not a good one?
Well, because you can't demonstrate it. You can't prove it.
Well, the deductive argument is applying premises that are logical and rational, which then come to a conclusion.
I think what you're saying is possible, but you can't demonstrate it.
I'm not trying to demonstrate it to you empirically.
But if you can't demonstrate it,
Yes.
it's of little use.
Not really, because much of what you believe.
Yours is a guess.
Yeah, but much of what you believe, sir, is it's not on empiricism, is it?
Yes, it is.
Do you believe your mother is your mother?
I could prove it.
No. Do you believe that your mother is your mother?
No, I might. What? There's lots of things that I believe in.
Yes.
That I don't bother to demonstrate.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That
But that's not. Because most questions are trivial. We don't need to demonstrate it. We just.
I think your mother being your mother is not a trivial
No, I know,
question.
but I don't need to. But I've got enough confidence.
Reason, exactly.
No, not reason. Confidence.
Well, I would say.
But it's open to. It's open to challenge. It
Yes.
might not be my mother.
Yes, of course.
I mean, ultimately, it's demonstrable.
Right, but you haven't. But my point to you is.
I haven't bothered to.
I understand.
Let me finish.
Yes.
I haven't bothered. You asked me.
Yes.
I haven't bothered to demonstrate
Yeah.
it.
Yet you still
But
do believe it, right?
No, I accept it.
Right, exactly.
There's no reason why I shouldn't accept it.
No.
But if somebody said to me,
Yes.
your mother isn't your mother.
Yes.
And if she was still alive, I
Yes.
could demonstrate that she was or she wasn't. We could prove it one way or the other.
Yes. Right, but the point here is that your conviction now
I haven't got a conviction.
So you're not convicted that your mother is your mother?
No, it's quite possible. She's not my mother.
But on balance of probability, you'd be 50-50 there?
There's
or
lots of
something?
things on balance of probability.
I'm just trying to be reasonable here.
So am I. I've never been to
So
Australia.
what I'm
Hang on a
saying,
minute. No. I've never been to Australia.
Right. But you accept it exists.
I think it's a high probability that
Right.
Australia exists.
Right.
I've got no real reason to doubt it.
Yes.
Now,
How have you arrived at that conclusion?
Because there's lots of intelligent people who told me.
Right.
Now,
So valid testimony?
Hang a minute.
Yeah. What else?
Hang a minute.
Yeah.
Hang a minute. But some people say that unicorns exist.
Yes.
I don't believe unicorns do exist.
Yeah. Nor do I.
So, but I think I'm on firm. Even though I've never been to Australia.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing,
Yeah.
I could go to Australia and have a look.
Yes.
I've never seen a unicorn, and unicorns might exist.
Yes.
If one turned up, I'd have to change my mind.
Yes.
There were no. People used to say there were no black swans.
Yes.
Then they found them.
Yes.
You might find me. Somebody might find me a unicorn.
Yes.
So we can, in principle,
Yes.
most of the time we don't bother.
Yes.
We don't have to demonstrate things. We just accept it because you see, life goes on.
Yeah.
But in principle, we can demonstrate lots of things.
Yes.
You cannot demonstrate that there is a God.
Okay.
You
Can I speak now?
No. I want
Okay.
one more point.
One more point. Please go ahead.
You can infer
Yes.
from your reasoning
Yes.
that there is a God.
Yes.
But it's only an inference.
Yes.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well.
And it's not falsified.
Okay. You've said
Well,
quite. You've said
That's
quite.
my favourite word.
You said.
You can't falsify
You've
it.
said quite a lot there. So I'm gonna. If you don't mind, I'm gonna come in there. Yeah. Okay. The point that I was trying to make to you is that being able to prove something is not the reason why you necessarily believe it to be so today. So you have a conviction
No, I
that your
accept.
mother is your
No,
mother.
I accept. No.
But you're interrupting me now. I haven't even.
I accept. There's lots of things that I accept.
Yes.
Without going to the bother.
Because you have good reasons to believe so, right?
Yes.
Maybe you look like your mother. Maybe
I can't go through
you've got
life-
relatives. You've
I
got
can't go
relatives
through
who.
life
Right.
Trying to
So-
disprove things.
Yeah.
I don't. Most of us don't bother trying to falsify lots of things. But to important questions.
Yes.
Then I think, like, if we're having a conversation about the
Yes.
existence of God,
Yes.
I should be able to put to you,
Yes.
can you falsify God?
Yeah. But you see, you said to me that you believe these things because you have good reason to believe them. Okay.
I have no good reason to believe in God.
But I haven't finished my point. You're just
think you have.
you're just interjecting without even allowing me to
Okay,
speak.
I'll try and be quiet.
Yeah. So, and that was my point. And so when people say, well, I need empirical evidence to believe in a creator or God, I believe that what they're doing effectively, there are lots of important decisions that we make in life where empiricism is not something that we necessarily engage in to come to that conclusion.
So similarly, I would argue that not knowing about how everything came into existence does not mean, and I accept your point that you're saying I'm not suspending my thinking.
All those claims
Well, brother, we're
survive.
having a conversation, if you don't mind,
survive.
right? So the yeah, I know, but it just makes a more meaningful
want a
discussion.
one-on-one,
If it makes a more meaningful discussion if we. I know, but
Well, get
hecklers.
to the beef.
So the point I'm trying to make to you is that, as I said to you, that the universe is contingent, reliant upon a preceding step. You cannot, and you agreed, you cannot have an infinite series of preceding steps.
Only
so
for
by
argument's sake.
default,
Only for argument's sake. I
so
did.
by default,
Only
I
for
think,
argument's sake. I did.
well, I think
I'm not
well,
fully.
if we simply say for argument's sake, and then when a person engages that argument, you say, well, it was only for argument's sake.
No, I
we're
said-
never
I
going
said
to
that.
move forward.
No, but
are
I
we?
did say that at the time. I haven't come to a conclusion
Okay,
about the infinite regress.
so you asked me, why do I believe in God? What's the evidence that I have for believing
I think
in
you've
God?
got
And-
evidence.
Yeah.
I think you've got lots of evidence.
Good reasons, yes.
Well, you've got good reasons.
Yes.
And you're welcome to them.
Yes.
But I don't think you can demonstrate it in the same way I could, in principle, demonstrate whether my mother was my mother or not.
Yeah, but that's not the point that I was
You
making.
brought
to
up my mother.
I understand. The reason why I brought your mother up was not because you could prove it empirically or not.
In principle.
But you had.
No, but in
The point that I'm trying to make to you,
But you
I think you're missing the point. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that there are things that we believe without seeing empirical evidence where we have strong
That's
conviction
called
to
faith.
accept them.
It's called faith.
Well, it's called faith
What's called
based upon reasons.
No,
isn't it?
faith is, if I can remember the quote, faith is believing something without good reason.
Yeah, but so
Like
you're
your
saying
faith
that
you have your mother is your mother,
Yeah.
or faith that there's an infinite regress that actually exists. These are all
Sorry,
faith statements only.
I'm talking about my mother now.
I think
We're talking about believing things without
No,
evidence.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you do when it comes
I've
to your
agreed
mother.
that lots of time, but most of our lives, we accept without going to the trouble of
So without evidencing your beliefs, you hold
most
out.
of the time we don't bother looking for.
Speaker's Corner, I think we mentioned that. You mentioned it was because
So, look, if you just let me have 30 seconds and then you can come in there, okay? Why do I believe in a creator?
I don't mind you believing in the creator.
I understand.
That's up to you.
But I understand, but you asked me as to what reasons there are or evidence there is for you to accept that.
I think you've got
Right,
reasons.
okay, so
And good reasons.
we got to the stage where I think you did agree that an infinite regress
No, I didn't. I
is
didn't.
okay.
No.
So do you think there is a possibility to have an infinite regress?
I've not thought it through. I think it's
Okay.
possible. I think it's
I'd
possible.
advise you
I
to
think
think
it's
about-
completely possible that there's always been something.
Yes,
Always.
I agree.
Forever and ever and ever.
I agree. I
It's always-
agree.
I don't see why that's not possible.
I agree. Now the difference is what that something is, or what it could be. I.e., could it just be something that always existed and is not made of matter and energy, and therefore
Could be,
requires no
yes.
explanation?
Of course it could be.
It requires no
could be
explanation.
lots of things.
Okay, that's fine. So you would accept that that would be a complete belief, blind belief.
Not blind.
Based on,
I don't think it's blind belief.
well, you can't prove that, can you?
No, but I think there were levels of belief.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't think your beliefs are blind.
No. So this thing that you
what are you
say
disagreeing
exists.
about?
So
You guys are agreeing
no.
with each other.
So this thing that potentially always existed, does it bring things into existence in a planned way when it wants to at a specific time?
Sorry, so I don't quite. So let me ask
This
you-
thing that always existed,
You
is it conscious? Is it intelligent? Is it
I
powerful?
don't know. I've got no idea.
It has to be more powerful than the universe because clearly the universe has.
I don't know what brought existence into being, but neither do you.
So what are the options?
So what are the? That's what I'm trying to say to you.
I think that there's at least two,
Right.
maybe more.
Okay.
One is a naturalistic option. It's always been like that.
Right.
We don't know. Oh, and it's three. It's always been like that. It's a naturalistic thing. Second one is I don't know why.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Yes.
That's
Number
not an
three,
option.
some
That's
kind
not,
of
that's,
some
not
kind
really,
of
that's
God.
not really an option, then, is it?
Well, it is an option because if I can say I don't know,
Yes.
So that's
my mother's
But
dead.
it's not a
Hang on a
rational,
bit.
but it's not a rational possibility. I don't know, is it?
Of course it is.
No, a rational possibility are
We're talking about the possible
possibilities
causes,
for
though.
existence.
I
right?
don't know what the answer is.
I understand, but you
You
said
can't say, because I don't. If we genuinely don't know what the answer is,
yes.
it seems to me that's a rational possibility.
The possibilities.
It's a rational answer, not possibility.
Exactly. The possibilities for the universe coming into existence cannot be. I don't know. That's not a possibility.
Well, it's not an explanation.
I agree.
But it might be the best answer.
So what I said
I
to you,
don't know.
what I said to you is that there are certain possibilities that we can reason to, and one
You
of
can
those
infer. You can infer.
You can infer through a deductive method.
I don't mind you inferring. That's
I
up to
understand.
you.
I understand.
But I don't think you can ultimately say you can infer that my mother is not my mother. We could, in principle, we could prove whether she's my mother or not.
But that wasn't the point, though. I think you see.
Well, I'm trying to give you.
I understand, but much of what we believe, we have not viewed the empirical evidence
No, we haven't.
to
And now,
solidify our opinion.
have you?
Of course not. Of course
So
not.
Ultimately, what you believe in God on faith.
I believe in God out of good reasons to believe in God.
But are they
Through a reasoned
Are they
argument.
watertight reasons?
Sorry?
Are they watertight reasons?
I'd say that they are very watertight because they're multifaceted.
Are they watertight?
I'd say so, yes. Because they're multifaceted.
Well,
So I'll give you an example. If you just allow me. If you just allow me.
no. Can I say?
Right, yeah.
Having many reasons doesn't make the reason more watertight.
Well, when you say
Accumulative
watertight,
evidence, isn't
what do you accumulative evidence?
If you bring
No,
enough
no,
accumulative evidence,
A
from
plurality
your
of
reason.
evidence isn't data.
Plurality is data.
course
That's
it
the
is data,
definition of
yes.
data.
But it's not ultimate. It's not an explanation.
The explanation
You can have
is there.
lots
The
of
data
reasons.
is
They're
to
all
give you
slightly
Look,
wrong.
we're not talking about empiricism here,
I am.
but you're not, because
I am.
much of what you believe there is no empiricism.
like you believe in Australia without empirical reason.
No.
Look, the point.
I've said why I believe in Australia.
All I'm basically saying to you, just hear me out, right? If we look at the necessary existence that underpins all other existence,
I don't believe that.
But then you believe in an infinite regress.
I've told we're going around in circles. I've said I don't know.
You need to think about that. Okay, fine.
Well, you need to think about it.
Well, I have thought about it. That's why I'm here.
But how do you know? Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
We're here for the same reason.
Good.
So your definition is no better than mine.
Well, I would say it is better
Well, you haven't demonstrated it so far.
because I'm not simply saying I don't know.
Wait, what? You're doing something worse.
What was that?
You're believing something on faith.
Well, I'm believing something because of
Which
good
isn't
reason-
watertight.
Because of good reasons.
I don't think they are good reasons.
Okay, but that's your opinion. You're entitled to that opinion.
I think I
right?
can demonstrate it.
I think what you did do is you accepted a necessary existence.
I
or
didn't.
The,
No,
or the
no.
possibility
I didn't.
of one.
I think it's possible.
Or the possibility of one.
Demonstrate his
You
reasons
might
are
be
good.
right.
Yes.
There might be a God.
Yes.
I'm not denying that.
Right.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
Right.
Because among the possibilities,
Is it a reasonable possibility?
it's reasonable.
Right.
I
Okay.
don't-
That's all really needs to
It's
be
just
said.
not true.
But that's all. That's my point to you.
It's not true.
My point to you is that it's a reasonable possibility.
Of course it is.
Okay.
I've never denied that.
And so from that, what I would then do is I would say, okay, if this creator exists, how
it could exist.
if I said to you, if this
If
creator
Australia
exists, okay, then how could I potentially discover whether this creator of the heavens and the earth has tried to communicate
That's
with
your
me?
problem.
Communicated with
You
me.
demonstrate it to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on then, demonstrate
so
it.
then, from my perspective,
Demonstrate it.
Well, I'm trying to do that.
Come on, then.
You're being rather confrontational.
Well,
I'm just trying to be nice to you and have a conversation.
I'm
with you.
trying to be nice.
Okay,
Demonstrate it.
So for me, I see throughout history that there were many people who claimed to be sent by this creator. So I would measure up.
Which
their
God are we
claims.
talking about? The
Well,
Christian God, the Muslim God, the Hindu God?
we
There's
believe.
lots of gods.
We believe actually that.
You
if
believe?
Yeah.
Why should I believe in it?
Well, let me explain to you why we believe what we believe. We believe that most of the religions out there, in their core teachings, believed in a supreme being
Are they all
that
wrong?
was all
Are
powerful.
they all wrong,
No,
the others?
we believe that that's the concept of
Do you
God.
think they're all wrong?
In that particular belief of believing that there's an ultimate creator.
Do you think
for
the
everything.
Hindus are wrong?
I think if you look at the oldest scriptures of the Hindus, they have a supreme creator that's effectively God that created everything,
You
the
think
heavens
they're
and the
wrong?
earth. So I think that concept is correct.
No, so
because we share that
there's three
concept.
categories. There's people who believe in God, theists. Everyone's in that. The concept is irrelevant. They're theists. They believe the universe requires an explanation.
Look,
Then there are
well, I think
atheists who make the claim that the universe, that God does not exist. That's a philosophical position. nothing to do with science, but they may have make inferences from it. Then there's the people in the middle who are the deists, if you like, who are, the agnostics who are not sure.
I'm not an agnostic.
But you're saying
this is my position.
You are an agnostic.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't believe in God.
You said there's a possibility
No,
that God exists.
don't tell me what I think.
What you just said.
No. Don't tell me what I think. I'm going to get angry.
A person who says
I'm going to get angry.
A person who
listen. What I'm going to listen. What I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I think God is a possibility.
So you're an agnostic then.
But it's not being proven.
Yeah, but you're an agnostic.
But I don't think there is any proof.
But that's not the point. If a person believes there's a
I
possibility,
don't believe in God.
If a person believes there's a possibility of God existing, that's agnostic.
Can you believe that? Do you believe it's possible that God doesn't exist?
No. Because I
How
don't
do you
believe,
know?
I don't believe you can explain the universe
How do you
and
know?
matter and energy
what if we all die?
without the necessary
What if
existence.
at the end of time, there's no God at the end of it? What do you think?
It wouldn't make a
would you
difference if
say?
there's no God at the
Well,
end.
I'm convinced that there is
And
because of what I
What
see.
if the fragments say there wasn't?
Sorry?
Is there any possible universe where God couldn't exist?
For me, no, because from my deductive method of looking at matter and energy, looking at the fact that
you're
it's...
mixing up deduction with faith.
No, not at all.
When it comes down to it,
a deductive
you
argument,
believe in faith.
No, I believe in it. I believe in premises that are logical, that lead logically to a necessary existence that underpins all other existence.
I don't think it does.
And I think that's a very logical. Now, that's my argument, right? And the fact that you said to me, okay, there could be a possibility, but you don't accept that possibility.
No,
that
I do.
God exists.
I do accept the possibility
That God exists, right?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
You have to demonstrate it. Demonstrate it to me now.
Okay, so the way I would demonstrate it to you is I would then look at people who've claimed to be from God, and I would look at the scriptures that claim to be from God as well. And I would apply the test to those scriptures.
Scriptures aren't evidence.
Have you studied the Quran?
No.
Are you familiar with the evidences of the Quran? No. Then how can you make that claim?
Well, because
It's generalising.
that's just statements that people have made. They may be true. They're just not. They may be true. But they haven't been demonstrated.
Yeah, but
what's your best demonstration of God's existence?
Because the alternatives don't make any logical sense.
No. You can't say that.
Either the universe popped out of nothing, either there was nothing.
It could have been nothing.
Either there was nothing to start with,
Guys,
and the universe
if you're
popped out.
smoking here,
It could have been nothing.
Sorry.
Okay, let's look at the possibilities. So there was nothing.
What's your best
I'm
demonstration?
asthmatic,
What's
so-
your best demonstration
Yes.
that God exists?
My best demonstration my best demonstration that God exists is a deductive argument.
No, give me one argument.
You're just interrupting me. I'm not even allowed to make one sentence.
You've got to give me one. Well, you've got to give me one. Your best example.
Why do I have to do that? Sorry.
Well, because otherwise, I don't.
There's no magic argument.
Why do you have to do that?
Well, if I can prove that my mother is my mother.
What, with one line?
And by having a DNA test.
But you haven't had the DNA test.
No, but in principle, what's your principle?
But you're convinced.
Demonstration of
But you're
God exists?
convinced of something.
You have faith.
You have faith in something.
You have. Talking about you
About
now.
your mother, for example, being your mother.
In principle.
But he hasn't proven it.
No, but in principle,
But that's
I
not the
could.
point. That's
In
not the
principle-
point.
In principle, I could.
Has he ceased to believe in it until he proves it?
You're going backwards.
not
In
agnostic.
principle.
Has he?
In
No.
principle.
Is he agnostic about that? No.
And what does that mean?
What that line of argument means is that as human beings, we accept things
I don't.
out of good reasons to believe them, and we're overwhelmingly convinced of their reality.
I've been through all this.
So, for example,
I've
your
been through all
mother
this.
is your mother, or you believe in Australia, like you said, right?
I've
So
been through all
the
this.
point
You
is,
have great faith.
so the point I'm trying to make to you is that for me, once I come to a rational or reasonable conclusion of a necessary existence,
I believe that
can you
unicorns.
let me finish,
I believe
please?
that unicorns
Okay,
exist.
look, I did let you speak, but you're not even allowing me to have more than one sentence. So from that, what I would then look at is, did this creator attempt to communicate with me? And then I studied the Quran. I looked at the Quran, and the Quran claimed to be a miracle from God.
Claimed.
Claimed. So I studied the Quran.
So what?
Until I became convinced
So what?
that indeed it was a miracle.
So what?
Now you haven't had that opportunity
Well, can I
yet.
say? I'm not being rude.
You haven't had that opportunity.
Can I say
yet.
something?
So I believe
Can
that
I
there's
say
good
something?
reasons to
Can I
believe
say something?
that it came from God.
Can I say? I'm not being rude.
Please go ahead.
Is it possible you're deluded?
It's possibly that it could be possible that we're all deluded.
No. Could you be deluded? Could you be deluded?
Anybody can be deluded.
Including
so,
you.
including you?
Anybody can be deluded.
So you could be deluded?
Anybody can be
Say I
deluded.
could be deluded.
What's
Anybody
the
could be
definition of
deluded.
a delusion?
Well, believe something that's not true.
That's not
No.
delusion.
Anybody
No,
can
I'm
be.
only asking.
Okay.
Look, could you be deluded?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
I've already answered the question.
No, I don't think you have. You
I-
haven't.
When I say,
You've been very slippery.
hold on a second. Okay. Hold on a second.
Could you be deluded?
If I say to you, if he says,
Why are
"Can you be
suddenly bringing in
deluded?"
someone else
and I
you get
say,
so annoyed if anyone else
"Anybody
does
can
that?
be deluded,"
Why are you
am I
suddenly
included
trying
in
to
that?
bring in other people?
Am I included in that? Yes, I am.
I think this one's not going to
Yes, I am. But you want me to. But you want me to answer the question how you want me
No, I
to
don't. I
answer
want you
it.
to answer it honestly.
Have I
Can
accepted?
you be deluded?
Have I
Yes or
accepted?
no?
Have I accepted that?
What's a delusion?
Have I accepted that?
No,
Can't you say it?
In principle.
I just did.
No, you didn't.
Why
I'm
not?
going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you very simply.
Because you know
Can
what?
you? Is it
Because
possible that
I
you're-
will say it how I want to say
course,
it.
you say
Not
what-
because you want me to say.
can't say
Oh,
it.
Abbas, you have
Wait,
to
but
say
you did
it.
the same to
You
me.
You have to say
You
it
did
how
the same
I
to
want to
me.
say
He
it.
didn't
Otherwise,
ask
I'm not going to
you.
accept
He
it.
didn't ask
Go,
you,
go.
could we all be
You know,
deluded?
I said.
That's a different question.
When I say
What's a delusion?
anybody can be deluded,
Including you.
that includes me.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you could
that
be
includes
deluded.
me.
So how do you know that God exists?
Do I have to spell it out to you? Really?
But how do you know? You could be deluded about God. That's one thing. I think God might exist. It's possible.
Yes.
But he might not, and you could be
The
deluded.
problem with your line of thinking, if you follow that line of thinking, is that we lose a complete reality on anything.
No, it's
Because
not.
yes,
No.
absolutely.
No.
Because I could ask you, your existence today. Could you be deluded about
Does the
that?
Funny
Earth?
to
Look,
Could you be deluded about your existence?
Does the Earth?
No. Can you be
Does
deluded?
the Earth go around the
Can
sun?
I answer my question?
Can the Earth?
I've answered your
I'm
question.
trying to answer it.
Can you be deluded about your existence?
Of course I can.
Oh,
I
so
could be
so you don't
deluded.
exist.
No, I could be. No, I didn't say I didn't exist,
Someone's
but I could
going
be.
down a rabbit
I
hole
could
like
be
that.
deluded.
So you couldn't exist,
going down a
basically.
rabbit
I know. I could. It's possible.
Yes.
It's a delusion.
So it's a delusion that you exist, basically.
yes, it's possible.
So we lose grasp on reality. Then,
no,
don't
but
you?
it is possible.
So so it's possible, right?
Yes.
So does that mean that everything in your life, therefore, is fruitless? It has
be.
no importance.
It could be.
Right.
I don't think it is.
But do you believe that?
No.
No, because on balance of probability, you accept the reality that you're in, right?
Yes.
On balance of probability.
Yes. I think it. Yes.
Right?
Just dug a hole
Right.
and jumped in.
Anyway, so what I'm so what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say to you, what I'm trying to explain to you is
Somebody else want to say
what,
something?
what I'm trying to
You're doing well,
what I'm
you're
trying
doing
what I'm trying to explain to you is that not knowing is fine.
Not
But
knowing is not
but,
doing
but it doesn't mean.
Not knowing is fine. Not
Sorry, you're
knowing,
interrupting me again.
No, I've got because I'm not agreeing to not knowing is fine.
Okay,
Not knowing is bad.
Okay.
We need to know.
so we should think about these.
We should
things.
try not to be. We should try to know things.
So what are the rational
But the problem
possibilities?
is we don't know everything.
No.
So we have to admit that we don't know.
Absolutely.
It's not fine.
So do we think about how it could have happened?
Of course, I mean, oh yes, of course it could be.
And
You might be right.
Yes, and
You're making a huge leap
the point
from-
point that
The existence of the universe and having to have an answer for that to the prophets.
no what no
It's a huge
no
leap.
not at all. What I'm saying to you is that what I'm arguing is that the logical steps through a deductive method result in a person arriving at a conclusion that there has to be a necessary existence
I don't
that underpins
I don't accept
everything
that.
else.
I don't accept that.
Well, if there isn't a necessary
could.
existence, then you have the infinite regress.
Yes.
I would say that is far more illogical,
It might be.
irrational,
Yes.
Might
and
be.
faith-driven
It could be.
Might
than
be.
the necessary
No,
existence.
It could be true.
So you're not.
It could be
okay,
true.
So you're
You're
not
not
going.
making a claim,
So you're
so
not
it's
going
not
for the
faith-based.
stronger argument. Then
No.
what you're doing is you're
You
going
can't-
for
you
something
can't-
that's
you
completely
can't-
irrational.
you can't say-
because
you
you
can't-
know
is
you
not
know where
removing
the
it from
rational
the table.
argument
You can't
leads
say the
to.
stronger argument is the correct one. You can't say the stronger argument is the correct one.
Is it better to go for a stronger argument?
No, it's best to go for the truth.
But then if you don't know the truth, you go for the stronger
don't know the-
argument or the
no, I
weaker
know- I keep
argument.
looking.
You suspend belief until
I
it's
keep-
proven.
well,
Do you
No,
suspend
investigate.
belief
Can I ask you a quick?
if there's a stronger argument, or you accept the stronger argument
No,
until you verify otherwise?
Until it's
So you
proven.
have to be
So in
proven.
that case,
Until it's proven.
in that
Until it's
case,
proven.
you
You're
could
not
effectively
like
deny
proven.
God regardless of the evidences.
Sorry,
that-
say again.
you could deny God regardless of the evidences.
Not
that are
regardless,
presented.
no.
Of course,
You can.
because until yes,
You
you
haven't
can.
come, you haven't come up
See,
with very good
he
evidence.
says you can. You said
haven't
you
come
can't.
up with very good evidence
don't
so
all have
far.
to agree.
You haven't come
What
up with
evidence would convince you?
Well, if
Hold on. What evidence would
just
convince you?
just for the time being, this
Yes.
is not a great answer.
Yes.
But if somebody had their leg chopped off
Yes.
and I prayed,
Yes.
and the leg grew back
Yes.
in front of me,
Yes. You'd
would
believe in God?
No, I don't know, but I'd be very.
Oh, you don't know
no,
still?
Listen. I mean,